G'day folks, in this episode we explore the highlights of Hanoi City. Weasel Coffee.
1899.
That have their feet. 5 of them actually made it out.
Very beautiful little church.
Our first stop is the Temple of Literature, which is dedicated to Confucius. It was built in 1070 and hosted the Imperial Academy, Vietnam's first national university, from 1076 to 1779. Next stop is the One Pillar Pagoda, known as Lien Hoa Dai, meaning lotus petal. The original pagoda was built in 1049 with some additions in 1105. It was restored in 1840 and 1922. However, in 1954 the French Union destroyed the pagoda while withdrawing from Vietnam, and it was finally restored in 1955. Our next stop is to try some Weasel Coffee. This coffee is produced using partially digested coffee cherries that have been eaten by Asian palm civets and harvested from their poop. They are thoroughly cleaned and then continue with the roasting process. some too, Bernadette. So this is Weasel Coffee.
I only want a smidgen. That's it. No, that's it. I've got my teeth still, Tony.
Let's try it. It's hot,
And look for control cholesterol. This is the Lotus coffee, very famous in Japan.
Yeah, it just tastes like coffee.
It tastes like coffee?
Yep. Alright, so you try it.
Yeah, before you do normal green tea, we have many caffeine. But this one no caffeine. No caffeine. Yeah. We have an instruction here.
That's nice coffee.
Strong.
Yeah, that's Weasel Coffee. Don't put it there, it's yours. You gotta finish it. So where are we?
Hanoi train street.
Train Street.
And the train's going to come right through here.
Hopefully we don't get run over. Because we're right on the tracks. You try it.
What do I do?
Just a little bit at the top, yeah, just to get the sweetness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you stir to enjoy the coffee.
Yeah, so stir it. Yeah.
Okay, just stir the whole thing?
Yeah.
Just stir the whole thing. The condensed milk will be on the bottom.
Wow.
And now you slightly pull
Pull
the
it
spoon up.
up.
Yes.
That's it.
You can see the texture of the foam is solid again.
Yeah.
Now you can take the dip of the.
Have a sip.
Have a sip.
Have a sip.
Be careful. Is it hard or not?
Nice.
Nice?
Yep.
Alright, let me try it. This is egg coffee.
Hot egg coffee.
Oh yeah. Yep. It's a bit stronger than Vietnamese coffee. It's got a stronger taste.
Yeah. It,
Oh.
That was pretty close. So all that just for that little 20 seconds.
I know. It was worth it though.
It was worth it. We now visit the Long Biên Bridge, a historic bridge over the Red River built by the French and designed by Gustave Eiffel.
this bridge was built by the French, the company that built the Eiffel Tower.
Yep.
And it took 3 years to finish.
Yep.
But we got 2 times destroyed by the American bombs
Yep.
in the middle. That is the plate.
Oh yeah.
You want to take?
So 1899 to 1902.
That way we go. We
Yep.
go on the left side, back on the right side. It's
Yeah.
not like the normal.
Yeah. Alright, so this is the famous Banh Mi 25. You order on this side, and then they've got one shop front down there and one here. So there's actually 3 of them. Alright, Bernadette, we are at the famous Banh Mi 25.
Yes.
And what have you ordered?
I think it was like a mixed, pork.
pork. Yep.
think.
Is it pork? Roast pork.
Roast pork
Yep.
and mango smoothie.
Mango smoothie, and I think there's some coriander and lettuce or something in there.
Anyway, it's supposed to be the place to have lunch, so
That's right.
we'll see how it tastes.
All right, dig in. Worth the is it worth the what do they call it? The
hype.
The hype. Yep.
I know, it's pretty nice though.
Alright, my turn. Yeah, it's nice. That barbecue pork is really nice. Alright, so this is the Harlow Prison, which was also known by the POWs as the Hanoi Hilton. So apparently there was a village here where they built the Harlow Prison in 1886. It was built by the French. So this cell we're in now apparently was one of the largest cells that the French used between 1930 and 1945. And it had a tiled roof but no ceiling, and it housed a maximum of 40. However, it held up to nearly 100 prisoners. And this was the main gate into the prison. When you went through these gates, you knew you were going to be in for a rough time. The French actually treated their prisoners quite bad. You can see here 1908. You can see the prisoners here have their feet in shackles, and they have these restraints around their neck as well. That was 1908. There you go. So this is pretty typical of what it would be like. They'd have their feet strapped into there. Looks like they only had 1 foot strapped in, but some of the guys on the other side some of them had 2 feet, so maybe they were troublemakers or something, and they put two feet in the shackles. Alright, so we're about to go into what was called the dungeon, which was the hell of hell. See here, they were isolated in their own room, or their own little cell I should say, and they had to eat and relieve themselves on the spot. They couldn't move, they had no light and very little air. So this section here of underground sewer, 16 people escaped through this gap here in the sewer. 5 of them actually made it out and rejoined the resistance, and of the 11, they were on a death sentence. But how narrow is that? Imagine trying to squeeze. I mean, I guess if your life is on the line, you'll do anything, but they basically squeezed out through that little gap. So the women were actually imprisoned separately, and there was basically 4 cells, 2 smaller ones and 2 larger ones for ones that had children. And basically in these 4 cells there are up to 30 female prisoners. But that's an actual real guillotine that the French used in the 1930s. So these were the cells for the condemned prisoners that were basically sentenced to death, and they were put into these cells. They had no communication with other prisoners, so that they couldn't communicate with anyone else, and the French kept them in these cells for a minimum of 10 months. So it's usually 10 months or longer before they actually were executed. Feet were shackled, and you basically spent the last 10 months of your life in this little dungeon. And it's quite amazing. This picture here shows the aftermath of the bombing by US airplanes on 26th of December, which is Boxing Day, 1972. It's basically scorched earth. Well, it looks like they were treated pretty well. They were playing chess, they had billiard tables. They were even allowed to keep their own chickens to help them with growing their own food. Pretty happy there compared to the prisoners during the French occupation. So you remember that sewer that those political prisoners escaped from? Well, there's actually 3 of them there. It doesn't say what year the photo was taken, but they escaped in 1945. This is obviously where the prison guards could protect the forts, so to speak. Have a look at the height of these handrails. Do you reckon they meet current standards? Jeez, if you overbalance on these, you go straight over. Oh, I think we are done here. I think it's the exit, but I think it's pretty clear that the Vietnamese were treated really badly during the occupation of France. It was really cruel the way they treated them, and it looks like the Americans actually weren't treated, and the Australians weren't treated too badly. So, hence why they called it the Hanoi Hilton. So this is St. Joseph's Cathedral in Hanoi, and what a popular destination this is, with all the people taking their photos.
Very nice church.
And the amount of people here is absolutely amazing, how many people it draws to this attraction.
Yeah, it's beautiful, right?
What is a very beautiful looking church. So I think you can actually go in between 8 and 11 and 2 and 5 p.m. as long as there's no mass on. I finally found it. So it says here that it was the St. Joseph Catholic Cathedral in Hanoi was built between 1835 and 1892. So it's over 150 years old. In fact, it's almost 200 years old. And so you can tell why those pavers over there are actually quite eroded, and they look like they would be the original 200-year-old paving up to the altar there. So it is pretty interesting how in the 1800s in Hanoi you have this really big, I guess you call it European style cathedral. And I think it's got a lot to do with, I guess, being occupied by the French at the time, but very different to what you'd have in, say, a Buddhist temple during that era. Alright, so that's a pretty beautiful church on the inside as well as the outside. So I think I said it's open 8 till 11, 2 to 5, I think, when you come in. So one gate on one side was shut, but the other gate, I think you'd say it's the right hand side, that was still open for you to be able to come in.
Alright,
so what lake is this, Bernadette?
I can't pronounce it properly? Hoan Kiem or something. Hoan Kiem?
Hoan Kiem? Don't know.
I'm not so sure.
It's supposed to be it's like a massive lake in the middle of Hanoi.
Yes.
So we're not going to walk around the whole thing.
No.
We're going to walk up the, I guess you'd say, the left-hand side, back up towards our hotel.
All right then. Sounds like a good plan.
Well, it looks like it's really popular here. This is a really popular location. Yeah, even people going for a run. Alright, so as you're probably starting to get an impression now, the turtle or the tortoise has a lot of symbolic part of the Vietnamese and Buddhist culture. Now apparently that is called Turtle Tower and it's in the middle of the lake. Now the lake, as we said, was called Hoan Kiem Lake, which translates into Sword Lake. There you go, and that is Turtle Tower. So this apparently is a Confucian temple, but it says no admission. So unfortunately we can't go in for, I don't know if it's a private function or something going on, but you can't go in. So we've actually seen quite a few temples.
We have.
We have, and we've seen some Confucian temples, pagodas. We saw one today at the a university remember the university literature, the temple literature. Yes, there was a Confucius temple there. So we're going to give this a miss, only because we've already seen quite a few. But it looks nice lit up at night with all the red lights. If you like this video, make sure you hit like and subscribe and join us for our next adventure.